Wives, submit to your husbands. It is one of the most quoted and misunderstood scriptures in the Bible. Let's be real. When most people hear the word submission, it sounds like a trap, like they're giving up their identity and control to someone else. And for a lot of women, the idea of submission feels terrible because it's been weaponized to justify unhealthy dynamics. But I want to dig a little deeper here because what's been written is oftentimes taken out of context, and it's so much more powerful than most people realize. And here's what I've seen in my years working with couples and in my own marriage. It's that women don't want to control their husbands for fun. It's survival. And for some, it's a learned behavior from growing up in environments where men weren't trustworthy. And for others, it's a response to living with a husband who avoids leadership, who's inconsistent, and ultimately doesn't provide an emotionally safe environment. So control becomes a way of filling the void when trust is shaky. Men hear submission and they think it means dominance. They imagine that it's their job to just call shots, but that's not what Ephesians 5 teaches. The scripture isn't about power, it's about partnership. Husbands are called to love their wives as Christ loved the church, sacrificially, selflessly, and with unwavering commitment. So let me make this personal for a second. Early in my marriage, I thought that leading meant being in control. And I figured that as long as I was doing what I thought was right, my wife would follow. But when my actions didn't make her feel safe, seen, or valued, that leadership only created distance. I had to learn that leading meant serving, servant leadership, not demanding it. Here's why submission sounds terrible. When leadership is self-serving, submission feels oppressive. And when a husband leads with control, avoidance, or apathy, it leaves his wife feeling like she has no choice but to just take the reins. Submission is impossible without trust, and trust doesn't exist without love, consistency, and sacrifice. So what Ephesians 5 actually calls for is husbands. Your job isn't to rule over your wife, it's to lay down your life for her. That means leading with patience, empathy, and a heart that serves, not commands. And wives, submission isn't about losing your voice, it's about trusting your husband's leadership because he's shown he's worthy of that trust. So guys, if you want your wife to trust you, look at how you're leading. Are you consistent or are you creating chaos? Are you sacrificial or are you self-focused? Leadership isn't about control, it's about responsibility. And wives, if you're holding on to control, you need to ask yourself, is it because he's untrustworthy or is it because it's hard to let go? If trust has been broken, healing has to start, and it starts with honesty and accountability on both sides. And if this hits home for you and you're ready to rebuild the trust and redefine what leadership and partnership look like in your marriage, reach out to us today about the Total Breakthrough Academy. This is the work that we do every single day inside the Academy. We help couples align with the purpose and calling God has for their life and marriage.